Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video. Week 18 is upon us, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Clearly, playoff seeding's number one, but we have to talk about the games too. And we have one game on Friday to talk about, so without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so just the one game to talk about for Friday. It is an Eastern Conference clash. We have a 7:05 p.m. Central Time kickoff on the Indoor Football League Network or the Victory Plus app or whatever. I have no idea. But anyway, we have the 7-7 Massachusetts Pirates heading out to Green Bay to take on the 9-5 Green Bay Blizzard. Green Bay 6-1 at home, Massachusetts 3-4 on the road. So a good opportunity for Green Bay to finish their home season on a high note, 7-1, not 8-0, but probably the next best thing. Heavy playoff implications in this one. The Pirates absolutely need this. Green Bay absolutely needs this. It's going to be a nice, fun back and forth for this one. Green Bay needing it to, stay in the realm of the number one seed, home playoff game, and everything along those lines. Massachusetts needs this to stay in the playoff race. If they lose this game, they're pretty much out, man. They're donezo. So this should be kind of desperate times, desperate measures for one side. Not so desperate times, but still some anxiety on that other end because home playoff game, number one seed, things along those lines. So, season leaders for both teams. For Massachusetts, Kenji Bahar, 190 of 303, 1,928 yards, 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Max Miler, 173 of 304. 2,141 yards, 48 touchdowns, 7 picks. Pooka Williams, 181 carries, 714 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Max Miler, your leading rusher, 119 carries, 631 yards, and 23 rushing touchdowns. Tio Redding, 42 catches, 572 yards, 13 touchdowns. And TJ Davis, 44 catches, 594 yards, and 17 receiving touchdowns. Taking a look at our injury report here, Terry Beckner has been added for Massachusetts. Other than that, not really much else to kind of go off of for the Pirates. For Green Bay, Devin Johnson has been added to the short-term injury reserve. They've gotten a couple of guys taken off, and we'll talk about that in the 25-man roster here in a second. Over to the game odds, we have an over-under of 85.5, with Green Bay favored by almost a touchdown, minus 6.5 at home, plus 170 to the money line for the Pirates if you want to choose a road upset, or minus 205 for a little bit of a heavy favorite at home for the Blizzard. Speaking of which, we are at the Rush Center in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, with our series head-to-head between the two in favor of the Pirates, 6-4. Their last meeting coming practically half a season ago. Week 6 of this year, Green Bay, though, taking the victory 47-35. So, with that, let's go take a look at our 25-man roster, our bet and prediction. We'll get out of here. All right, so taking a look at the rosters as they pop up over my face, starting with the away side first. For Massachusetts, Talia Tagovailoa and Kenji Bahar are your quarterbacks. Bahar is going to be your starter. Tagovailoa is going to be your backup. Running back is Pooka Williams. And then your wide receiving core, Stephen McBride, Tio Redding, Dante Demas, and Thomas Owens. On the offensive line, Jordan McRae, Chris Murray, Brandon Kemp, Navon Donaldson, and Dante Lucas. To the defensive side of the ball, Dominic Keewan, Jock Bristol, Mike Mason, DJ Dale, and new signee Tyshawn Render. Linebackers going to be Latavius Brini. Defensive backs, DJ Daniel, Teldrick Ross, Dexter Lawson Jr., Destin Mack, Smoke Monday, and Ty Smith, with your kicker being Josh Gable. Moving over to the Green Bay side of things, quarterbacks TJ Davis and Max Miler. As I've said all season, TJ Davis is your backup quarterback, but he will slot in the wide receiver spot, running back spot, kind of stuff like that, be jack of all trades. Running backs Jalen Cagle and Kaimani Clark. Kaimani Clark is off of short-term injured reserve, so even more offensive firepower for the Blizzard. Wide receivers Andre Williams, Zane Lewis, Lil Patron, and Jazarick Peterson. In the offensive line, Jake Parks, Torrey Boyd, Roderick Williams, and Andrew Carter. Defensively, Rafiq Abdul-Wahid, Tramon Lofton, Allen Henry, and Sean Mustin on the line. Linebackers include Monty Montgomery and Andre White. Andre White coming off of short-term injured reserve to bolster the defense. And in the secondary, Nigel Canada, Mamadou Wimbai, Kevin Ransom II, Damari Roberson, Khalil Finley, and Cale Jackson Jr., with Green Bay's kicker being Andrew Mevis. That is your 25-man roster for the Massachusetts Pirates, your 25-man roster for the Green Bay Blizzard. And with that, let's go take a look at our bet, our prediction, and we'll get out of here. All right, bet and prediction time for this one, and I'm sensing some desperation a little bit on both sides. I have over 85.5. I think both these teams are going to score points. I think it's going to be a back and forth affair, kind of what we saw Green Bay and Quad City last weekend. Maybe they explode in the fourth quarter for some more points, but over 85.5, we know Green Bay can put up points. We know that the back is against the wall for Massachusetts. I think that they're going to want to try and come out and put everything on the line to put themselves in position for Week 19. And then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If they laid it all out, this game, that they have nothing left in the tank, and I'm not trying to just speculate or anything, but that's the point I'm trying to make here is I think both teams are going to leave it out on the field. And what I mean by that, and I know this is very cliche, but final home game for Green Bay. They're 6-1 at home. They want to finish 7-1. They want a home playoff game. They want to win this to clinch a playoff berth and at least have the opportunity to control their own destiny. For Massachusetts on the other side, again, like I said, back against the wall, desperate times, desperate measures. They want to throw it. They want to, put points up on the board. They need to beat Green Bay to stay in this race. So, with that, like I said, desperate times, desperate measures for both sides, but let's talk game. I think Green Bay has the opportunity to win this one. I think Massachusetts might be licking their wounds a little bit. They traveled to Tulsa. I'm assuming they went back home. Now they have to travel out to Green Bay. A little bit of, maybe some travel fatigue. Some players have left and been released. You just kind of wonder what's going on with Massachusetts a little bit right now. Green Bay kind of just has everything, very steady, very even. A nice win against Quad City, and I kind of expect a little bit more of the same here. My prediction for this game, 52-40. And for that reason, I think Green Bay, they can put up points again. They just put up 58. They've been prone to putting up over 50 points. They're very, very good. There's a reason why they're 9-5. Now, Massachusetts, nothing to shake a stick at necessarily, but ever since Tom Menas came in, there have been some hiccups, but they've kind of, again, steadied their ship. No pun intended, but steadied their ship a little bit, and they've gotten some things kind of under control. But that double overtime loss to Tulsa definitely hurt them. And again, you always go back to the kind of like that West Coast swing where they lost to Northern Arizona, they lost to Tucson, and you just kind of wonder what could have been different had they won those games. A lot more different, but that's where we have it. In this one, the offense looks all right for Massachusetts. This is the defense that gets me. You're going to probably have Latavius Brini or one of the defensive backs play linebacker, someone that's not necessarily used to that position. They're going to have to chase Max Myler around. They're going to have to chase Kaimani Clark, Jalen Cagle, any of the motion receivers around. We'll see how that goes. The defensive line should be all right. The secondary should be all right. They lost Matt Elam, but he didn't play last week because he was already released. You're just kind of going through a little bit of, turnover on that defensive side of the ball. On the other side, it's Green Bay getting healthy. Andre White comes off a short-term injured reserve. They get Kaimani Clark. There's more offensive firepower. I get it. There's only one ball, though, so who's going to get the carries? Who's going to get the receptions? Fine. But on the other end, I just think that's a lot of firepower. You bolster your linebacking core. You have a nice secondary doing what they do. The defensive line still looks really good. I think Green Bay just has a little bit better of a presence in this one. I do. I think Green Bay takes it. Now, both teams are going to put up points, hopefully. Both teams are going to put up points. I'm just looking at this in the realm or in the possibility of how desperate does Massachusetts get? When do they start? If they're down by like a touchdown or two and they score, do they start doing onside kicks? Like, they need this one. I don't know if they can necessarily be eliminated from this game if they lose, because you still have Saturday to kind of determine the stuff. And I don't know if Massachusetts losing this one and then they win in Week 19, what happens with Tulsa? It might come down to strength of schedule because both teams are 1-1 in your head-to-head. So it might come down to strength of schedule because they're not doing conference win percentage, I don't think. And we just kind of go from there. I'm not sure. But the fact that I haven't seen anything that Massachusetts will be eliminated like they have said with Tucson, it's a little weird. So I don't know if Massachusetts can technically get in if they lose this game. We'll see. But yeah, you can't clinch a playoff berth if you're Massachusetts, but you certainly can really be up against it if you lose this one. And again, Green Bay wants to win it. They want to clinch that playoff berth. They are in the number 2 seed right now. They want to keep it that way. They have a shot at the number 1 seed as well if things break their way with Quad City losing, Jacksonville losing, all of that kind of stuff. So with that, it is just a huge, huge thing. But over 85.5, 52-40. Hopefully the eyes are glued to the screen here for both sides and the casual fan as the playoff races just heat up. But with that, let's go wrap everything up. Let's get out of here. And that is it for Friday's only game, our Week 18 Friday preview. Massachusetts and Green Bay, just renewing that rivalry that they have played multiple times over the years. And heavy, heavy playoff implications, man. This one should be fun. I am excited for it. They have a full slate Week 18 on Saturday is what I was trying to say. 6 games, just like last week. Just it's here. It's right here. You can feel it. You can feel anticipation. You can feel it, just like the static. You're just like, let's do this. As soon as these games kick off on Saturday, it's here. I mean, even before that, games kick off tonight with this one, with the games kicking off tonight. We're here. The playoffs are right around the corner, and I am excited for it. I hope your team is in it. I hope they're ready to go. But with that, I'm going to take off here, guys. Love and appreciate every single one of you. If you feel so inclined to, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. If you don't, whatever. But anyway, I'm going to take off here, guys. Get this out. Get everything ready for the Week 18 Saturday previews and all of that stuff. I'll catch you at that one. Till then, see ya.